let's talk about an upcoming event that we've got planned yet again, another Community Action Council Transformer Zoom call. Now, for those of you who are familiar with these Transformer Zoom calls, there are a group of people across North America that are coming together because they have a heart for their community, because they want to be living local. They want to actually be in the community from their churches, interacting and engaging with marketplace leaders and municipal government leaders and other churches in the community to meet the needs of the community. So we're out there working with these people that want to advance these tools and advance help to pastors and church leaders on getting their community action councils started or their city movements moving. And we have been hosting events along with, there's a whole group of people working together to bring these events together, but we've been hosting the events every 2 months for the last year and a half. Well, we've got another event coming up on Thursday, April the 11th. So definitely want to make sure that you have a heads up on this. Again, if you have a heart for your community, and you want to live local as a church family, then these are great events to do that. And I'm going to introduce the segment to you today and tell you a little bit more about the event that's coming up by introducing you to the 2 speakers that are going to be joining us for that event. So we have Steve and Patty Buss from Eugene, Oregon, who have a very successful community action plan. They are engaged at the community level, and they've got some things to impart to us during this upcoming event. But let's hear what they have to say. Let's see if they can tease you to join us for the event and register for that event on Thursday, April the 11th. Well, thank you so much, Steve and Patty Buss, for coming on today and giving us an opportunity to meet you and to hear a little bit about what's going to be coming up here on that special date. The next Transformer Zoom call is coming up. But before we get into the call and the event itself, I wanted to ask if you would, why don't we start with you, Steve? Tell us a little bit about One Hope Network. I'm really keen to share this information with the people that we serve here. Why don't we start there?
Okay, well, we are here in Eugene, Oregon, and our community is about 300,000 people. And the One Hope Network facilitates local believers coming together to do 3 things: to pray together, to serve our community together, and share the good news together. And so we're a network that has almost 100 churches and ministries just from our local community. In a year's time, we're working together in some capacity. And so those 3 objectives, praying together, serving together, sharing the good news together, are how we express our unity in Christ. So like many of these kinds of movements, we are founded directly on John 17 and John 13. John 17, Jesus praying that his church would be one as the Father and Son are one, so the world would believe. John 13:34, Jesus gives us one new command, that we would love one another the way he loves us. And so how can we, as starting with church leaders, how can we deliberately love one another and then walk in unity? In both cases, when we love one another, the world knows we're disciples. When we're in unity, then the world believes with us. And so that is our mandate. That is our biblical foundation from which we stand on. And then we've got those 3 objectives. So we have a handful of initiatives where churches and God's people are coming together to pray. We have a handful of initiatives where we've seen the Lord move to bring us together to collaborate in consistent service to the community, and then also to share the good news together. And so we've been operating in this way since about 2010. And we are just delighted to live in a community with so much potential and so many wonderful people, along with the stubborn facts, the difficult things that happen in our community as well. So that's just a little quick overview of what the overall picture of what One Hope Network is. Patty, do you want to add anything to that?
I think you got most of it.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, that explains why it is that you had such a great year last year. I was looking at your 2023 year in review, and you mobilized hundreds of thousands of dollars into the community. You served 12,000 some odd people. I mean, this is a massive endeavor here, and you were very successful in strengthening leaders, mobilizing volunteers. This is clearly something that's been very effective. I'm excited to hear about it, hear more about it, but we got to save some for the call itself.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're going to go into
Sure.
some detail on this Transformer Zoom call coming up on April the 11th, but maybe Patty, you could tell us a little bit about what some people might expect to receive when they join us for that special event on April the 11th.
Yeah, we're really excited just to connect with people who are really kingdom minded. It does seem that's the paradigm. The Lord is really moving the church from this siloed mentality in our Western world to this kingdom mindset, to the kingdom that advances through people where they work and when they connect together and function in unity the way he designed. And for us, prayer has been an incredible, essential element in everything that's happened in our community. We really have nowhere to blame anybody but God, because prayer has been in the fabric. It's prayer that unites leaders. We're going to talk about how it's been an essential in developing and sustaining our unity, how prayer has been essential in developing and sustaining our strategic outreach in the city, and also how it's been just a culture that we have engaged to see the kingdom advance in all spaces in the city.
Fantastic. Now, Steve, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, and Patty, that's what we're planning to spend the bulk of the time talking about on the Transformers call, just looking at how that prayer in a community, how does prayer in a community long-term, a rhythm of it take place. So we're looking forward to that. And by the grace of God, he's been really wonderful to us as we all have joined together in prayer to see answers to prayer. And he's highlighted things as leaders have prayed together. He's highlighted things in the community that we're to focus on in our service in response to our prayers. And so it's been a wonderful journey we're looking forward to sharing more about.
Well, and we're excited about having you share on at that time on April the 11th. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes today just to give us a taste as to what we can expect. That's again, everyone, join us on April the 11th. That starts at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And you can check in the video comments below. You'll see a link where you can register for that special event with Steve and Patty Buss from Eugene, Oregon. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Doug.
We're crying out for the church to be the church in the community.
The ecclesia is a relational model that God has been calling forward.
Being present is about showing up on a regular basis.
So I'm convinced that God will birth a love in one's heart for the place he has put you in. And sometimes that requires a process. Sometimes we don't initially love the place where we are or where God is sending us, but we respond in obedience.
And I believe there must be the restoration of the cry of God in the heart of us as leaders to cry out to God for our cities.
And for those of you who have a heart for your local community, then I would encourage you to participate in what we call Transformer Calls, focused on your engagement and the love that you have for your communities.